Hello, my name is Kelly Kibielis, and welcome to another installment of Hoods, Rogers Park. For the final segment of our show today, we are going to talk about progressive Rogers Park establishments that contribute to the growing community. The first location is the Taste of Peru, which is located on 6545 North Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois, right off the Moore stop on the Red Line. Peru's unique culture and geography has shaped its varied cuisine, which includes more unique dishes than any other country in the world. Peruvian chefs have a variety of fresh and flavorful ingredients at their disposal, allowing Peruvian foods to surprise and enthuse the taste buds of any open-minded eater. The Taste of Peru, which is home to such flavorful foods, has become well renowned in the Rogers Park community for offering this type of diverse cuisine here in Chicago. Now let us take a second to see what the Taste of Peru has to offer.
Years ago, there were some Peruvian restaurants. They didn't call themselves, they didn't even have the Peruvian name. They had Rinconcito Suramericano, but they didn't want to name it Peruvian name because nobody knew Peruvian food. But it was a version of Americanized food. You know, so I wanted to remember my mom's cooking, and you know, I wanted to share that with everybody. You know. We started actually not only with my mom cooking and my wife, my two daughters. You know, my brother, you know, my kid brother that passed away. So my sister that works here, my nieces, nephews, cousins, you know. They were the Pistols. They reunite, you know, and they were going, man, what you need, man? You need some weed, you need some crack, you need some, you know, you tell me, man, what you need. No, I don't need nothing. But since I was working, I started working with CAPS. They came over and they asked my help to help them clear this. And with beat officers doing surveillance for a whole month, we actually did 28 arrests, 25 of them narcotics, and a couple of disorderly or prostitution. I forget what it was, you know. Nobody wanted to come to Rogers Park. I believe in Rogers Park. I love Rogers Park. I love the beaches. I love the people. I love the different cultures they have. You know, the diversity. You know, and it's a beautiful city. You know.
Well, that looks like a great place to stop for a bite to eat. For more information such as hours in operation and directions, go to Renzo'sTasteofPeru.com. Now for a last peek at Rogers Park, let's take a look at the famous Chicago punk polka band, Polkaholics. Recently have performed their 15th anniversary show. Polkaholics are a unique staple in the Chicago community, specifically Rogers Park, where the group is based. Let's take a quick look at Polkaholics.
Polkaholics are a polka rock band. In fact, we're the only polka rock band in the world. We've been around for 15 years, and we started mixing punk rock with polka in 1997, and it was just so much fun that here we are in 2012 still pushing the polka. Basically, I used to go to thrift stores to get all my clothing, and I was running out of closet space, so I started looking at records, and I saw these polka records, and everybody was so happy on these records, and I thought, what the heck, you know, in rock music, nobody's happy. Next thing I tried to do is try to learn how to play it. So then I started to play it, and then I thought, well, next step's got to be we got to have a band. At that time, the drummer was Mary Mike. I knew him from the Handsome family. I was playing in a band called Algebra Suicide. We take ourselves seriously in the sense we like to have a good time and play music, but we make fun of ourselves, and it encourages people to let loose too. You know, we play some of the old-time polka standards, and we throw in some of our own stuff, so it's a wide variety. And, you know, that's, and then the beer helps loosen them up too, of course. My parents are from Germany, so I had heard, like, that German folk music growing up, and I hated it. I wanted to play rock music. Once I started listening to records, I got real intrigued by this music. I thought, this is the most underground music in the U.S. I mean, you can't find anything written about it hardly. I think being in Chicago in the Midwest, a lot of people are somewhat familiar with polka to some degree, but that's part of our goal too, is to, to bring people up to speed on polka. The Polkaholics, we've been playing at Red Line Tap for many years, and then before that, really in the 1980s, I played it at the Heartland Cafe with a band I was in, Algebra Suicide. Rogers Park has always been a place where bands that are kind of out there can find a venue to play. It's always had that history, and we've been a part of it with the Polkaholics, also playing at Glenwood Arts Fest. Glenwood Arts Fest is fantastic. We play that every year, and it's such a diverse audience, and we're playing polka music, and some people probably never heard this kind of stuff, and they're reacting and stuff, and it's just a good time. I think Rogers Park, especially, I would say. I think Chicago is good. I remember one year in particular, we played some suburban place like the night before the Glenwood Avenue Arts Fest, and the people were all kind of like, they were too cool, they didn't want to let down. And next day we played Glenwood Avenue Art Fest, and the people, they're reacting, and it was like young little kids, old people, all kinds of people. We've been going for 15 years. I hope we can go for 15 more. We'll see. We don't have any grand aspirations for being, like the next big thing, obviously. We just enjoy playing and hope to be able to continue playing as we get older. It's an act that we can really get into and enjoy. Polka on!
Welcome back. And now for our final segment, we have Polkaholics co-founder and member Don Hedeker, here via Skype. Welcome, Dan. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I have a question for you. How
Sure.
does Polkaholics draw such great crowds to your show?
Is that a question?
Yeah, that's a question. How do you get so many people
Well,
at
we
your
draw
show?
fun people to our show, and the turnout is good, and we have a good time always.
Why does Polkaholics appeal to so many different ages?
Well, it's just a fun music. A lot of people think it's very corny, but it's really more about having fun, letting your hair down, having a good time, and just letting loose. And I think any person, any age, any genre, any type of person can identify with that idea.
How has the band evolved over the past 15 years? It's quite a long time.
Right, it has. I don't know that we've evolved. We've probably de-evolved. No, we've always had this stick, you might call it, of playing polka with rock and roll kind of sound, and focusing on entertainment and getting people involved. So really, that's been the constant throughout the 15 years. When we began, we played primarily polka cover songs, some of the big hits like In Heaven There Is No Beer, things of that, the Baby Doll polka. And across time, we've evolved and started writing our own polka songs and then extending the genre in that way.
Do you have a favorite song?
Do I have a favorite song? I think the best song that I've written is Polka Can't Die. That's probably the best one. It kind of is our call to arms. Please, please, please don't let the polka die. It's a genre that is to some extent dying out, but it's worth saving. Let's put it that way.
What about Chicago or Rogers Park specifically influenced your band?
Well, I think they're both very influential because, I'm a lifelong Chicagoan. I grew up on the Northwest Side, and growing up in Chicago, you automatically heard polka music, whether you liked it or not. So it's part of our, it's in our blood, basically, just like blues or jazz. Being in Chicago, hearing all these different kinds of music forms is just natural. And Rogers Park has been a place that I've played in bands with since the 1980s.
Wow.
That was that had that you could be out there and still play it somewhere.
Where can people find more info on Polkaholics and your upcoming shows?
Sure. The web, we do actually have a website called Polkaholics.com. If you go www.thepolkaholics.com, it has photos of us. It has our upcoming schedule, our upcoming shows. We typically play 2 to 3 times a month in different venues in Chicago, often at the Red Line Tap in Rogers Park.
Well, thank you very much, Dan, and that was a great, unique look into the Polkaholics. That's all for this segment, and thank you for tuning in to Frequency TV. Don't forget to visit Rogers Park firsthand and find out everything that neighborhood has to offer. I'm Kelly Cabialis, and this has been Hood's Rogers Park.